The order, you're told, isn't actually order. It's a giant grinding machine quietly grinding your soul. The way to begin dismantling it isn't from the outside, but from within. Because true independence begins with the liberation of one's inner world from occupation, not from the state. The system uses police power, schools, and order as pretexts, but its sole purpose is the centralization of control. Decentralization is the breath of life. Federal control is the invisible hand slowly squeezing that breath. So, while they present income sharing as transparency, they're actually tying the reins of will to their own hands. And then they say, elect the right people, and the right people will shrink the government. But this is what should really scare you. Truly independent people are those who, when elected, refuse to serve the system. That's why they can't be elected. But now let's get to the point. The moment your soul was stolen wasn't as magical, dramatic, or diabolical as you might think. You weren't actually sold out. You surrendered without even realizing it. It all started at a young age. You traded your imagination for a gold star, your inner voice for a well done, your freedom for a be quiet. These were packaged for you in the name of success, discipline, and maturity. But at heart, there was only one trade: approval for vitality, security for vitality, order for originality. No one forced you. You were simply trained to censor yourself, to extinguish your own fire. At some point, being useful became more important than being human. Silencing your voice was confused with growing up. They called empty adulthood a fact of life. But you, if you still remember, you have a bit of mold inside you. This part whispers the most dangerous question. If they put the contract in front of me today, would I still sign it? This video is to answer exactly that question. I'll show you the invisible bonds, revealing the rituals that consume your soul, drop by drop. And most importantly, I'll show you how to get it back. It's not about escaping this world. It's about rewriting your circumstances to become the master of your own life. Believe me, the devil who steals your soul doesn't show up in a red suit. It's much simpler and more dangerous. They present it as a normal life, just like everyone else, growing up, becoming real. By the way, if you think about it, Hollywood stars are the ones who sell their souls. But here's the saddest truth. The real soul selling begins when the alarm goes off in the morning. When you lose another piece of yourself to get a job you hate. The media tells you that celebrities make deals with the devil, but you're signing an invisible contract that's being slipped under your door every day. The soul-selling operation isn't in Hollywood. It started at home. It started in the classroom. It started on our first day at work. We started learning Oksuma Öğrenmen Çok Evil. I started the program when I was 3. I thought I was counseling trees and that the whole world was magical. Be quiet. Sit down. Don't cross the line. Ask too many questions. These weren't disciplines. The first directives for extinguishing the spirit were 3. Even fairy tales weren't entertainment. This was a horror show. Be afraid of the dark. Break the rules. Don't question authority. If you're passive enough, someone will come and save you. School wasn't about knowledge. It was a collection of moral obligations. For 12 years, you were programmed to act at the sound of a bell. You were punished for asking and received a gold star for obeying. Mathematics isn't about finding the right answer. It's about someone else always knows the right answer. History isn't about the past. It's about the authority always writes the story. Linguistics isn't about communication. It's about stifling the poetry of the soul with rules. When did you stop believing you could fly? When did you stop singing to yourself? When did you start exploring? This isn't a natural process. It's a systematic disintegration of the soul. And the scariest part? Your family is continuing this process without even realizing it. Because they too were shattered years ago. The system works like this. With every piece of the original broken, someone becomes stronger. With every moment of obedience, someone becomes richer. Your silence is their profit. Do you think this is an exaggeration? Follow the money. The purpose of schools, companies, and institutions is not to raise free individuals, but to raise obedient employees. This is not a mistake. This is a deliberately designed trait. Because when a real child grows up, they are uncontrollable, and an uncontrolled adult undermines the system. That's why the system fears the most children who remember their miracles, young people who refuse to be tamed, people who reclaim their own nature. Part 2. Now, the real question is, who were you before you learned to please society? What did you want to be before society told you who you should be? Do you have the courage to remember that first spark buried deep within you? Think of what you passionately pursued as a child, but abandoned when you were told, "Don't be stupid, don't be useless, be realistic." Just remembering this is a sign. It's still calling you. But know that the system reaches your energy first, not your mind. Because if it seizes energy, your mind follows suit. The true capital of your life is not intelligence, but the raw power of your soul. Unconsciously, a vast civilization has been built to exploit this power. Every day, you participate in seemingly voluntary rituals, and what you call ritual is actually a transfer of energy. When you do the same thing over and over again, your consciousness submits to this movement. Your beliefs, your focus, your inner frequency are shaped. Take the television, for example. The moment you sit in front of it, the screen doesn't reflect you, it reconstructs you. The stories you watch night after night create fear, trigger anger, and cloud your mind. It rehashes the same anxieties in your mind over and over. It's not called television for nothing. It doesn't allow you to see everything from afar. It transfers the world into your mind. And in doing so, they select what's possible for you, what you should fear, and what you should desire. That's why programs are called programs. They program you, your mind, your reactions, your expectations. If you remain still long enough, it's not just your mind that changes, it's your identity. But the real magic isn't on the screen. It happens within you, unnoticed. And here we come to a truth no one talks about. Rituals are machines of the unseen realm. Every repeated action is a switch, every habit a lever. It either empowers you or silently drains you. Most of the rituals of modern life are siphons that drain your energy. They're like electricity. Push the right button, the light comes on. Push another button, the energy flows to another. Making your morning coffee, lighting a candle, standing up for the national anthem. All are energetic shifts. Some nourish you, some drain you. The real secret is this: the energy flows to the person who designed the ritual. And most people don't realize that the routines they repeat day after day either nourish their souls or line the pockets of others. Think about your week, the stress you experience when you're stuck in traffic on Monday morning. You think it's just transportation. In reality, it's a massive collective ritual in which millions of people are simultaneously losing energy. The forced birthday celebrations at the office, the fake smiles you put on. This isn't socializing. It's a collective drain on energy. Christmas, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. What's presented to you as love is actually a massive energy mine. You get stressed, you get into debt, you act out of necessity. And corporations make billions off the frequency of guilt and fear. The most insidious rituals are those that interfere with your life in the name of business. While your soul rots day by day, someone else's wealth rises. This isn't business. It's a ritual of laying your energy on someone else's altar. If you don't choose your own rituals, others will. And before you know it, they'll start eating away at your soul. Even the weekend isn't free. Shopping, Netflix, social media. These are all cycles designed to reclaim the energy you've accumulated. Stop now. Really stop. Where are you spending your energy right now? Who is your focus on creating value for? Even watching this video is a ritual. Is it serving your awakening? Or is it the empty consumption that keeps you passive and makes you feel knowledgeable? We are programmed to consume. Watching, listening, scrolling instead of being creative. When everyone just consumes, originality dies. The magic is lost. The world flattens. A movie that shakes you. An album that touches your soul. When The Matrix came out, it wasn't a movie. It was a wake-up call. How many movies truly shake you now? Nothing. Because the system rewards what's safe, reproducible, and easily consumed. And the result? True art that nourishes the soul. Chapter 3. Originality is the greatest driving force in a tired world. True creativity, a process that requires soul, pride, and time, is a laborious process. But when a person is tired, indebted, and focused solely on consumption, that spark inevitably fades. That's why today, we are surrounded by seemingly overflowing yet empty productions. Because the world is no longer satisfied, it's hungry for originality. What's the point? Constantly repeated sequels, repackaged versions of the same stories, and soulless background noise. It's not just the artists we've lost. The soft, safe, breathing ground needed for true art to emerge is gone. The world is stressed. Everyone is tense. Everyone is hiding. Energy isn't shared, it's protected. People are silent not only for fear of exhaustion, but also for fear of judgment. They don't dare take a step to be seen, to be different. The pressure to conform has broken the suffocating hold of freedom. But difference, the creation of something unique, was once sacred. Now most people ignore the whispers of their hearts and play by society's script. We're afraid to break the rules, to truly live life. And because of this fear, we've lost touch with what once made us who we are. This loss is now felt in every corner of life. But there's one thing the system fears most: creating your own rituals. Realizing that you have the power to break free from cycles that drain your energy and choose rituals that nourish your soul. Instead of giving your power away, you have the ability to design practices that connect you to your true essence. Imagine creating traditions that serve your own awakening. What if your morning ritual were to sit quietly instead of watching the news? What if your evening ritual were to turn to creativity instead of staring at screens? What if you spent your weekends in the lap of nature instead of in the mall? The moment you realize that every repeated action is actually a spiritual force, another door opens. Those who pass through that door begin to abandon the rituals that drain their souls and choose those that nourish them. More and more people are waking up from the trance we call normal. In the same cycle, everyone senses something is wrong. The cracks in the matrix are growing. It can no longer be hidden. And with each passing day, more and more people are questioning the script, rejecting the game, breaking the spell of the system. But this matrix has its most alluring weapon: seduction. The woman in the red dress in the matrix, she's no ordinary person. She's a trap disguised as beauty. That's how negative energies work. Darkness has no teeth. It comes disguised as desire. The devil comes with horns, and you close your door. What if it came to you like a dream? What if it disguised as desire? Dream-like lives, impressive sparkles, perfect images, promises of freedom. The most dangerous deals are not made with blood. They are written in gold. They are sealed with applause. And most people, without even realizing it, trade their true selves for an image. These perfect lives are actually gold-plated cells. Behind the smiles and filters, your true self is quietly sold for likes. You sacrifice your true thoughts for performance content. You trade your true experiences for beautifully photographed moments. The devil's greatest trick isn't to convince the world you don't exist, but to convince them that selling your soul feels like winning. That perfect couple you see on social media isn't love itself. It's a fantasy of love packaged for public display. True relationships thrive in the dark, not the light, in quiet, invisible, intimate moments. But fake love is always for sale. It brings a bonus. It brings profit. You line others' pockets with your jealousy and clicks. The same goes for personal development videos, success stories, even relationships disguised as friendships. Real moments are now a currency, a form of applause in a marketplace of images. And in the midst of it all, you stop creating from your soul. Instead, you create what your algorithm loves. You become a virus. Your energy, glamorous distractions, turns into a delusion. The beauty industry doesn't sell beauty. You don't sell insecurity. Athletics doesn't sell health. It sells shame. Personal development doesn't sell solutions. You can't sell lack. Every shiny distraction is designed to make you forget what you have and always aim for the next level. But the true spiritual path doesn't require money. It requires ego. It doesn't require accessories. It requires authenticity. Think for a moment. If you stopped chasing beautiful things, what would be left? What kind of life would you have if you stopped performing for others? Truly, alive people are those who forget to control themselves. Because they live. They don't try to look good. Chapter 4. We live in an age where your soul, not your money, is free. Companies, platforms, gurus, they're all after one thing: your attention, your energy, your vibration. Because what captures a person's energy shapes their reality. Think about it. What do you buy when you're angry? Where do you run when you're afraid? What do you automatically reach for when you feel lonely? What things do you see as solutions when you feel insecure? Entire business models are built on exactly this. Your emotions. Your anger generates profit. Your anxiety generates sales. Your loneliness keeps you glued to your screen. Your vibration is the fuel of a massive economy. When I say energy vampires, I don't just mean people. Netflix isn't interested in your pleasure, it hoards your time. Instagram doesn't connect you with friends, it creates envy and comparison. News doesn't inform you, it's designed to make you feel constantly threatened. Because anxious people are predictable, manageable, and easily manipulated. Even your job isn't about your salary, it's about your daily energy. You trade your 8 hours of existence for a few numbers that lose value even while you sleep. But do you know what the system wants from you? To be exhausted. To be exhausted. To feel like you need something. So they glue you to your screens, to arguments, to crises. Every time you fight online, you activate the chaos machines that feed on interruptions. Every time you check your phone for a notification, another hook is hooked into your brain's reward system. With every negative news, you forget your own power and succumb to the outside world. And worst of all, people drain you too. The friend who only calls when you need them, they drain your energy. The coworker who constantly complains and never changes anything, yeah, right. The family member who calls you home and breaks your spirit, this too is a form of consumption. A drama-based relationship, this is where the fastest energy loss occurs. But what they all fear most is this. You will realize you don't actually run out of energy. You just spend it in the wrong places. When you withdraw the power you gave them, the overflowing feeling of life returns. Think. You possess an energy that no company, no platform, no person can touch. An untouchable power radiating from your heart like golden light. A realm they can't reach unless you let them. The oldest spell that controls people isn't cast through rituals. It's whispered, you're not enough. You don't have enough money. You're not beautiful enough. You're not safe enough. You're not successful enough. This isn't a coincidence. It's a system. It's a structure that makes people feel incomplete and forces them to search for the void outside. Yet, there's no true famine on this planet. There are only barriers to access. There's enough food to feed the world, yet millions are hungry. There are more empty houses than people, yet people sleep on the streets. Technology is more advanced than ever, but we're still governed by the fears of the past. Why? Because the feeling of scarcity is the easiest way to control. Every day they create a new crisis, a new war, a new enemy, a new emergency, a new trend, a new panic. It all comes down to the same thing, wasting you. And the saddest part is, there are resources, solutions, and technology. The only thing missing? Willpower. Because real solutions break the spell. And when the spell is broken, control is lost. Chapter 5. You step into a supermarket. Your intention is simple, to find real food to nourish your body. But every shelf is designed to make you hungry. Unsatisfying calories, distracting packaging, appetites that aren't your own. And the most ironic thing? Real food is always hidden just out of reach. Not just food, but every aspect of life. Education doesn't inform you. It creates confusion. The healthcare system teaches addiction, not recovery. The news creates fear, not truth. Entertainment numbs, and the more it numbs, the more you crave more. Poverty isn't in your wallet. True hunger lies in the quality of what you're given. And this spell begins in childhood. Money is hard-earned. Rich people are greedy. You have to work hard for everything. As these words become ingrained in us, the concept of abundance becomes strange in adulthood. It's almost forbidden. as if wanting better were selfish, as if wealth were something to be ashamed of. But the real scarcity lies in the knowledge of how the universe works. They don't teach you how energy flows. They don't tell you how creation happens. They hide that time actually works differently. "I don't have time" is the greatest hypnosis of the modern age. You have the same time as everyone else, but as your energy is absorbed by the systems, you have nothing left to give. And without realizing it, you're wasting your best years feeding the dreams of others. Ask yourself this: who gets rich off your fears? Who profits from your exhaustion? Who gets empowered by your disbelief? Every time you say, "I can't afford this," someone wins. Every time you whisper, "I don't have time," someone gets empowered. Every time you say, "This is impossible," you give away your own power. And so your scarcity becomes not a destiny, but a business model. But some recognize this magic. When they wake up, they realize abundance isn't about having more things. It's about removing the curtains. It's about breaking down the walls we've been taught. It's about reclaiming your own creative power. This is true abundance. Ask yourself, what lack story is controlling you? Who tells you you're enough? And how would your life change if you let go of that story? Every little compromise leaves a small cut in your soul. "It's just a job. I'll get by. What if I lie once?" That's how everyone lives anyway. Each one is a small ticket. A deal where you surrender a piece of your soul. A deal that becomes increasingly expensive to return. You're holding your true self hostage in the name of security. The system sees you not as a person, but as a resource to be maximized. Smiling in a job where you feel alienated, staying silent, conforming. Trying to smile burns a hole in your soul. Every truth you repress goes to a non-stop shop, the spiritual porn shop, and you become both a customer and a commodity. You've traded your wildness for routine. Once upon a time, life was calling you. You went on unplanned journeys. A song could motivate you. Now everything is tied to a list, a schedule, a calendar. You call it responsibility. They call it successful selling. We've traded rest for guilt, silence for phone notifications, inner freedom for your performance. When was the last time you just stopped? Did you do nothing? Did you just exist? The system took away your right to rest to make you a useful employee. Your family, your job, the role you play for your community. It's all just a purchase mask. In crowds where you don't belong, your honor unconsciously shatters into tiny pieces. I'm talking to you, the real you. A story. Jake. A man who could move your heart with his music. His guitar could make you cry, make you laugh, make you pray. A fire blazed in his eyes. Then he found a temporary job until he saved some money. And over the years, music became a hobby, then a memory, finally a sigh. When I met him at a coffee shop, his eyes had turned completely dull as he talked about insurance premiums. He had sold his soul, piece by piece, for security, and he had forgotten he could even get it back. The price of every concession increases with interest. The longer we wait, the harder it is to get the pieces of his soul back. Sarah. Once upon a time, she lit up the house with her laughter. Now, she even puts on shows just for laughs. Her joy is like a memory preserved for the sake of responsibility. Her children don't know their real mother, but a version of her that blends anxiety with love. Creativity is the quietest loss. The poems you don't write, the work you don't try, the words you don't say, all sacrificed because you feared the criticism of others. And so you open a shop for yourself, a place where you sell your soul for solace. One day, your life becomes a brand. You start recording instead of living. But know this: pieces of your soul don't disappear. They're just waiting to be called back. The wildness you. Chapter 6. You agreed to build a practical life. But let me tell you what no one told you. That soul-stealing shop doesn't actually own any part of you. They've created beliefs that make you think you're just their hostage. Your wildness, that part of you that's as real as your first breath, is still with you. It's buried in your daily routine, waiting. You have a voice waiting to echo through the walls of silence. Behind criticism, shame, and habitual fear, you have a hidden creativity. Those moral punishments inflicted on you were written in faded ink, but they convinced you they were permanent. And now you ask yourself, does your comfort truly match the value of your soul? Look around you. Your orderly life, your predictable days, your safe choices. All of this was built on compromises you called reasonable. So what did you sacrifice for this comfort? What passions have you quietly left behind on those spiritual porn shelves? And the assurance you receive in return, does it truly give you life? Or is it just a beautifully boxed cage? Some return one day. They walk through the door of that shop and demand their soul piece back. They find it, comfort devoid of authenticity, just more ostentatious bondage. And you? What is it you are ready to reclaim? The real tragedy is this: you have been convinced that you need accessories, symbols, and certificates to connect with the universe. Spirituality has been turned into a consumer product. If you want to achieve your dream, join our path. Spend more for an abundance mindset. If you trust the universe, share your credit card number. They tell you you are divine, but expect you to buy their stamps to prove it. But ancient traditions considered wisdom as a right as breathing. Buddha didn't have a membership system. Jesus didn't sell lesson packages. Indigenous healers didn't brand their knowledge. But today, even enlightenment is paid in installments. The culture of positivity is a product of the same fraud. Don't see your pain. Don't be sad. Don't be angry. Don't ask questions. Just raise your vibration. Yet, so-called good vibrations only are one of the most dangerous poisons ever created for your soul. It forces you to suppress your true feelings, because the person who feels their emotions fully takes action, and the person who takes action threatens the system. True spirituality encompasses the full spectrum of human experience: anger and love, sorrow and joy, darkness and light. Awakening isn't just opening up to pleasant emotions. It's courageously confronting the true nature of every emotion. But the system doesn't want that, because true enlightenment reduces consumption, challenges authority. It breaks the dependence on false guides. That's why the modern world either suppresses true spirituality or brands and sells it. If it's truly for liberation, why is it so expensive? If it's truly for connecting with the divine, why is there human intervention? If it's truly for remembering your power, why are you being asked to hand it over to someone else? Think of the most profound spiritual moments in your life: nature, silence, a crisis, an implosion. It was all free. Your connection to the divine isn't tied to a subscription. Your manifestation power isn't measured by a certificate. The value of your soul doesn't carry a price tag. Then they show you role models, celebrities. But beneath that shine are broken people, artists who suppress their insomnia with pills, athletes who have become estranged from their bodies, lives that shine on the outside but are collapsing on the inside. These are not success stories. Fairy tales designed to make it easier for you to accept your limitations. They normalize their downfalls and whisper the message: suffering is the natural price of success. Selling your soul is what everyone does. And this ritual isn't just for celebrities. From students to workers, doctors to teachers, everyone goes through small, humiliating experiences to fit into the system. Everyone wears an invisible robe of honor. The more successful you are, the more ostentatious that robe becomes. And yet, it's still invisible. No one speaks up, because everyone is busy carrying their own invisible robe. Chapter 7. Your ritual of humiliation. Perhaps it was so small and quiet that no one noticed. Perhaps it was the moment your longing to draw a soul faked a smile and assumed the role of insurance salesman in a job interview. Perhaps it was that performance meeting where you gratefully thanked your boss for the opportunity. Perhaps it was the moment you had to laugh at your relatives' jokes at a family dinner that went against your values. Perhaps it was the breaking point in a relationship where you apologized for disturbing someone's comfort and disregarding your own needs. Every time you conformed to a structure that disrespected your humanity, you became part of your own ritual of humiliation. Manufactured heroes exist to normalize this. Honor is presented as something you can abandon if you choose. We see athletes, people who accept lifelong injuries in the name of success. They praise entrepreneurs, business enthusiasts who sacrifice their families for giant corporations. They admire artists, those who exhaust themselves for their art. The message is clear. If you want to be great, you must sacrifice yourself. You must bow to rise. You must surrender your humanity to success. What they don't tell you is this: most of these heroes are captives. A golden cage is still a cage. Success without honor is no more elegantly packaged than slavery. Shame is always marketed as a forced beginning. It's said, everyone must pay the price. You will earn your place, they say. All you have to do is take action. And after a while, they convince you of the lie. If you surrender enough, you may one day subjugate others. But the truth is, shame doesn't end. It just costs more. The corporate ladder is a list of who can oppress whom. This system is flawed from the start. You watch celebrities collapse. This isn't just for entertainment. It's about programming. This is what success is like. The side effect is going crazy. It'll happen to you too, but it's normal. That's the exact message being drilled into your subconscious. They sell you this idea. Your dreams and your sanity can't be in the same room. And what was the cost? The moment people want something, they remember the first time they sacrificed their dignity. The job where you had to violate your values. The relationship where you had to belittle yourself. The moment you silently accepted the truth instead of telling it. Which one was yours? What humiliation did you package and sell as normal? Most people remember the first time they put on the invisible suit. The weight of it feels both foreign and familiar. That strange comfort of belonging and the conflict between the lost self. Some people take off that dress at some point, and now they refuse to pretend. They choose honor over progress, truth over money, authenticity over acceptance. So, which ritual are you ready to give up? The routine that stole your fire. The world runs on autopilot. The same phone call every morning, the same apps, the same thoughts, the same disappointments, the same familiar compromises, the same screen, the same TV show, the same anxiety. Days, weeks, years slip away. And suddenly you realize, when was the last time I was truly alive? Getting lost isn't a mistake. It's a deliberate act. Algorithms, endless cycles, the same angry news from the same faces. A life filled with other people's priorities. The system keeps you constantly busy, but it takes you nowhere. You're active, but you're not alive. You consume, but you're not satisfied. You don't live, you survive. Dreams don't die. They just drown under the weight of daily habits. They're buried under, I'll do it tomorrow. They drown under, I don't have time right now. The musician who stops writing doesn't quit because they're tired, but because their soul is lost in the crowd. The writer who stops writing quits because they've taken the easy way out. The parent who stops playing with their children quits because they're carrying the weight of life in the wrong place. The fire doesn't go out. It just disappears. That's why you don't realize you're dying inside. The hamster wheel is accelerating, but you're still stuck in the same place. You confuse progress with action. There's a chasm between busyness and purpose. And deep down, your soul cries out, I want something real. You were born to create, but you consume what others create. You were born to question, but you buy the answers. You were born to explore, but the route is always someone else's. Every change, every automatic movement is a moment stolen from your energy. Only consciousness can stop this. Consciousness breaks the spell. Consciousness breaks the chain. Consciousness, why am I doing this? Who does it serve? What's happening? Where am I? Living consciously is creating, not consuming. Question. Chapter 8. The revolution begins by saying no. No to overtime that steals your family's time. No to relationships that diminish you. No to entertainment that drains your soul. No to purchases that promise happiness and drive you into debt. No to the words of people who truly aren't worth your life. No to arguments that have no impact. No to everything that steals your energy. Because saying no to what doesn't benefit you is the way to say yes to what does. The system constantly teaches you, don't disappoint others. But the real question is, what happens when you disappoint yourself? Selling your soul for the comfort of others, that's true betrayal. Your number is sacred. Your boundaries are sacred. Saying no to every environment that invites you to exploit your energy is a spiritual act of worship. Stay away from things that kill you. Stay away from people who drain your vitality. Stay away from systems that diminish you. Reclaim your dignity. Leaving is not giving up. It is choosing yourself. It is refusing to participate in the destruction of your own soul. You came into this world not to serve anyone's interests, but to serve life itself. Create without expecting anything in return. Write your poem even if no one reads it. Sing your song even if no one hears it. Dance even if no one watches, because truly, no one does. This life is yours, and it is worth living, or others will try to live for you. Create your art not for social media, but for your soul. The greatest revolution in this consumer-worshipped world is creation without commerce. art without an audience, expression without expectations. Your rituals are sacred. Don't surrender your morning silence to notifications. Your rest is precious. Don't let the pressure of, you have to be productive, corrupt it. Your love is pure. Don't let performance anxiety taint it. Your art is divine. Don't let the demands of the market belittle it. Your pride is earned. Don't let rituals of humiliation steal it. Protect the treasures of your soul. True energy work is simple. Rest when you're tired. Trust the right moment, not the right time. Create without expecting to be profitable. Connect when you're alone, not in crowds. Rebel against anything that would make you ignore your values. Love when your heart is open. Speak when it's right, not when it's comfortable. Your soul knows why you're here. Your heart knows who you are before you do. Trust these inner voices more than external authorities. The true binding contract is not a mortgage, not an employment contract where you sell your time for a salary, not the false agreements society imposes to fit in. A true contract is a covenant you make with your deepest self, a pledge of loyalty to what animates you. This contract is written with fire, signed with breath, and renewed with every conscious choice. Purpose over profit, love over fear, authenticity over conformity. True rebellion is not made by shouting. It is lived, silently but consistently. You don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to explain that your choices are valid. Just live. Every day, over and over again. Choose your own thoughts, not programmed ones. Feel your own emotions, not expected roles. Walk your own path, not someone else's. Create your own meaning, not consuming manufactured goals. Authenticity is contagious. As you choose authenticity, others become able to choose as well. Every time you conserve your energy, you inspire others. You awaken not only yourself, but also others. So, who would you be if you had your energy back? Close your eyes. Things that crush your soul. Relationships that diminish you. Entertainments that numb you. Worries that drain you. Imagine the energy they all drained suddenly returning. What would it be? Who would you be? What would you create? How would you love? How would you live? That person isn't a dream. The real you, lost beneath the drain of energy. Some people have already done this. They stopped feeding the system. They remembered their divine nature. And they demanded to be treated as a soul, not a resource. Now it's your turn. What's the first energy drain you'd eliminate from your life? If you've made it this far, you're not a sleeper. You're an awake soul. Someone who refuses to believe that spiritual death is normal for physical survival. You are dangerous because the system only works with those who obey unconsciously. And now you are awake. Every day, the same offer comes. Sell your soul for security, your uniqueness for validation, your fire for comfort. But now you see what they want. And every day you have the power to refuse. Tear up the contract, silently, consciously, by making another choice. Remember who you were before you were taught who you should be. Reclaim what you sacrificed before you extinguished your heart. Design a life that serves your soul, not for someone else's profit. As you preserve every shred of energy, someone else